Thanks, Noreen. It's my honor to announce the winner of the 2019 PAA Excellence in Public Service Award, U.S. Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii. In 2008, PAA created this award to honor policymakers who have been especially supportive of population research and the federal agencies that fund the field. As a member of the U.S. Senate Appropriations Committee, Senator Schatz has been a strong proponent of the National Institutes of Health and the National Center for Health Statistics. However, it is his tireless efforts on behalf of the Census Bureau that earned him this award. Senator Schatz has spearheaded efforts in the Senate to increase funding for the Bureau and to protect the confidentiality of census data. In addition, Senator Schatz has vocally opposed the proposed citizenship question to the 2020 census and introduced legislation to prevent future untested questions from ever being added to a decennial census. Senator Schatz received his award last month during PA's annual Advocacy Day in Washington, D.C. However, his staff is watching right now via live stream on Facebook, so please, once again, join me in congratulating Senator Schatz.
Next is our announcement for the Dorothy S. Thomas Award, and Rob Warren will make that presentation.
Thank you, Noreen. My name is Rob Warren. I'm director of the Minnesota Population Center at the University of Minnesota. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm pleased to announce the 2019 Dorothy Thomas Award, which is presented annually to the best graduate student paper on the interrelationships among social, economic, and demographic variables. I make this award on behalf of the committee, which also included Amar Hamaudi, Sasha Killewald, Ann Moore, and Chris Wildman. Let me begin by confessing that when I started my service on this committee, I did not know who Dorothy Thomas was. And in case you are like me, let me give you two factoids about her career. First, all of her work showed attention to careful measurement, in her case on rates of internal migration. Second, her most famous work was a co-authored two-volume study in 1946 and 1952 on the forced evacuation, detention, and resettlement of West Coast Japanese Americans during World War II. My committee received 27 papers. They were excellent. Most are actually already published, but one stood out. The award this year goes to Margot Moynister at Harvard University for her paper, Changing Risk of Removal from the U.S. Interior, 1988 to 2010. In her paper, she estimates year-to-year changes in non-citizens' risk of being ordered removed from the United States between 1988 and 2010. She shows that the risk of being removed roughly doubled during this period. She further demonstrates that despite other possible explanations, it was the increase in risk of being apprehended that mainly drove the observed increase in rates of removals. Like Dorothy Thomas's work, the research in Moynister's paper shows acute attention to careful measurement. Also like Thomas's most famous and influential work, the finding of Moynister's research speaks directly to how exclusionary policies and practices by the federal government and law enforcement create and perpetuate fear and social inequality along racial and ethnic lines. Please join me in congratulating Margot Moynister, this year's award recipient.
Thank you for those kind words, Rob, and thank you to the committee. I am so honored to receive this award. I would also like to thank my advisors, Mary Waters, Sasha Killewald, Jason Beckfield, and Bruce Western for all of the guidance they have provided me on this work over the years. Additionally, I'm indebted to TRAC at Syracuse University for the tireless work they have done FOIAing for the administrative data I use and often having to litigate for those FOIA requests. And lastly, I would like to thank the American Bar Foundation for the vibrant intellectual community that they have provided me over the last year and a half as I've worked on this project. Thank you all.
The next award is the Irene B. Tiber Award. I'm not a member of the committee. The chair of that committee, Peter McDonald, was unable to come, and so I'm going to make the announcement. But the other members, beside Peter McDonald, are Jane Mencken, Phil Morgan, Jerry Behrman, Elwood Carlson, Sara McLanahan, and Robert Pollack. So the winner of the Irene Tiber Award this year is Kathleen Mullen Harris, who is the James E. Haar Distinguished Professor of Sociology, Adjunct Professor of Public Policy, and Fellow of the Carolina Population Center at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. She has spent her entire academic career at UNC. She earned a PhD in demography from the University of Pennsylvania in 1988. Kathy has made unusually original and important contributions to the population sciences and has accumulated a record of exceptionally sound and innovative research over her career. Kathy's research focuses on social inequality and health, with particular interests in family demography, family formation, the transition to adulthood, and health disparities. Most notably, Kathy has been director and principal investigator of the National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent to Adult Health, which we all know as AdHealth, since 2004. This is one of the most important, innovative, and well-utilized data sets in the population sciences. In 2016, Kathy and 4 of her colleagues who were instrumental in developing AdHealth were given the Golden Goose Award by the US Congress, Association for the Advancement of Science, and the Association of American Universities for the incredible scientific advancements that AdHealth has made over the years. This impact is reflected in the more than 3,000 peer-reviewed papers that have used AdHealth data, the more than 20,000 citations to Kathy's own scientific papers, the hundreds of dissertations and theses that have been written using AdHealth data, and the more than 200,000 citations to papers using AdHealth data in the scientific literature. Whew. Among her many distinctions, Kathy received the 1997 Otis Dudley Duncan Award for Distinguished Scholarship in Social Demography by the Sociology of Population section of the American Sociological Association, the 2004 Clifford C. Clogg Award for Early Career Achievement from the Population Association of America, and the 2013 Warren E. Miller Award for Meritorious Service to the Social Sciences from ICPSR. She also served as the president of the PAA in 2009 and was elected to the National Academy of Sciences in 2014. At present, she is chair of the Committee on Population of the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. In sum, Kathy has had an enormous impact in demography, social science generally, and increasingly on the fields of health and biomedical science. For this, she is fully deserving of PAA's Irene B. Tiber Award. Please join me in congratulating Kathleen Mullen Harris.
Wow, what an honor this is. To know that my name will be listed along with the previous esteemed Tiber awardees it's mind-blowing. Thanks to the Tiber Awards Committee and to the PAA for this incredible honor. You know, I've been so fortunate in my career to have been at 2 outstanding population centers: the Population Studies Center at the University of Pennsylvania, where I got my training, and the Carolina Population Center at the University of North Carolina, where I continue to get my training. I've also been fortunate to have had brilliant, challenging, and supportive mentors, colleagues, postdocs, students, program officers, and staff who have shared the excitement of pursuing new ideas, the thrill of discovering new findings, and the disappointment of needing to start over again when things don't work out. But the PAA and all of you have been my intellectual community ever since I decided to study demography. And so it is a great privilege to be honored by you. Thank you.
Next, I'll call upon Kelly Musick to present the Robert J. Lapham Award.
Thank you, Noreen. I'd like to acknowledge other members of the committee: Wendy Baldwin, who chaired the committee, Sarah Curran, Jason Fields, Chuck Mumbake, Mark Montgomery, and Guy Steklov. The Robert J. Lapham Award was first granted in 1989 and is given biennially to recognize sustained achievements in population research, applications of demographic knowledge to improve the human condition, and service to the population profession. Although the committee received a number of very strong nominations this year, one stood out as exceptional on all three dimensions. This year's award goes to Sara McLanahan. Sara is the William S. Todd Professor of Sociology and Public Affairs at Princeton University and a faculty associate of the Office of Population Research. Like Robert Lapham, Sara co-founded a vital demographic study, the Fragile Families and Child Wellbeing Study, that has greatly increased our knowledge of unmarried parents and their children, produced innovative findings on family formation, parenting, father involvement, and health disparities, and opened new lines of research on areas such as adolescent brain development and the role of genetics in family life. Her own research has had a significant impact on our understanding of family structures and processes, how they influence child development and play into social inequality. Sara has worked diligently to improve family life in the United States and around the world by making population research accessible to the broader public through her editorship of The Future of Children and other initiatives to link research and practice. She's provided extensive service and leadership to the field, served on numerous boards, taken time for GPAC Hill visits and other activities, and held many PAA positions, including past president. She's also trained, mentored, and collaborated with hundreds of demographers and public policy scholars who have extended her scholarly reach and continue to influence the field. Marcy Carlson is accepting this award for Sara. Please join me in congratulating Sara McLanahan on this well-deserved honor.
Don't worry, we'll get it to Sara. I'm Marcy Carlson, and Sara is very sorry that she's not able to be here today in person, and I'm incredibly honored to accept this award on her behalf. She asked that I read some remarks, which I'm going to do now. So Sara says, I want to thank the committee for honoring me with this award. Receiving the award today is special to me for two reasons. First, because the award is for policy relevance, which is very important to me. And second, because I'm receiving the award in Austin, Texas, where I earned my PhD. It was here that I learned what demographers do, and it was here that I learned that demographers have more fun. Although I was not a demography trainee, I could see that the demography faculty were working on big projects with important policy implications, and that their projects involved lots of collaboration among faculty and students. That is what I wanted to do, and I'm very grateful for having had the opportunity to pursue my goal. Thank you. From Sara.
Next, Philip Cohn will present the Harriet B. Presser Award.
Thank you. The Harriet B. Presser Award has been given biennially since 2009 to honor scholars who have made sustained contributions to the study of gender and demography. This year's committee chair was Paula England, who couldn't be here today. The other members of the committee were Karen Brewster, Gary Gates, Fran Goldscheider, and me. Even before receiving her doctoral degree, this year's winner had begun to work on the topic that she would go on to explore with many data sets and from many angles: gender, work, and family. She's taken on questions about which workers have access to which types of work-family reconciliation policies, including flexible scheduling, telecommuting, reduced hours of work, and childcare assistance. Her early work showed that, contrary to common assumption, jobs containing mostly women are not more flexible on many of the dimensions that lessen work-family conflicts. Frustrated by lack of data to answer key questions, she pioneered a panel study that followed women for 7 years after a birth, examining what work-family policies their employers offered, which policies mothers made use of, and how these things affect earnings. In a recent blockbuster paper, she used microdata from 22 OECD nations to show that the US has the largest parenthood gap in happiness, and moreover, more generous family policies, particularly paid time off and childcare subsidies, are associated with better happiness among parents, leading to smaller disparities in happiness between parents and non-parents. In another line of work, she examined what is distinctive about the work and family patterns of conservative Protestants, finding that they leave school earlier and have earlier family formation. In short, today's winner has illuminated core topics in gender and demography in a career involving faculty positions at Notre Dame, Iowa, Cornell, and here at UT Austin. Please join me in congratulating the 2019 winner of the Harriet B. Presser Award, Jennifer Glass.
So I would like to thank the PAA and the award committee. I am truly honored. At one of my very first PAA meetings, Harriet Presser and Fran Goldscheider invited me to join them at lunch after a presentation I did. And their warmth and interest in my work led me to look around and say, yes, I have finally found my people, and they are here at PAA. I've been lucky to have a rich and rewarding career doing research on work, family, and compatibility and its impact on women's lives. But we're only as good as the people that surround us, and I have many to thank. I'll try to be quick. First, the Population Research Center at UT Austin, that's been such a welcoming academic home. But also the late Oa Sorensen, who rescued a graduate student interested in gender inequality when I was tired and poor and tired of being poor. And I'm sure there are grad students in the audience right now who know exactly what I mean. He encouraged me, and he believed in at least some of my ideas. Then there's Sara McLanahan, who's also being honored today, who published some of my first articles with me when I was but a lowly grad student and she was but a lowly postdoc. But also remember that your work will only have as much impact as its accessibility to the general public. As executive director of the Council on Contemporary Families, which is housed at the Pop Center at UT, I invite you to contact me with important new findings on families that would interest the general public before it's published. Finally, I want to thank the numerous collaborators in my life who have enriched everything I've done, and I promise I'll be quick and fast. In no particular order: Robin Simon, Matthew Anderson, Sharon Sassler, Kathy Michelmore, Caitlin Collins, Mary Noonan, Kelly Music, Pilar Panalans-Gans, April Sutton, Shi-Yi Chow, Samantha Simon, Kara Takasaki, Scott Fitzgerald, Michael Garcia, Jennifer Storch-McMorris, and Philip Levchak. And finally, to my family, Caitlin, Annika, and Doug, who make everything I do possible. Thank you once again.